Alright, so I'm Steve Woods, and welcome to my review of the Windows 10 Beta operating system versus the Ubuntu Gnome 14.10 Classic operating system. And the Ubuntu Gnome Classic is just a more traditional desktop feel, a little bit easier to compare to the Windows 10. So just a little bit about how this is going to work. I'm going to rank the two operating systems based on the following 8 criteria, and at the end I'll go through a chart step by step with the following categories and rank them with a numbering system, 1 to 10. Just a little bit about myself. I am a lifetime Windows user, so if anything, I do have a bias towards Windows operating systems. And also, I had trouble getting the Camtasia software to work at the Fab Lab, so I used my own screen recorder, mixed with some screenshots taken from the Fab Lab computers. Alright, so we'll start with Windows 10 first. And so, initial reactions to the home screen, I really like the clean layout. Icons are nicely organized. Crisp icons along the taskbar down here, which is traditional of Microsoft Windows operating systems. So I like that. As you can see already, the personalization of the background is possible. Good use of gradients here to bring your attention to the center of the screen too. Good job by Microsoft there on the default background. I really like the balance of the new start menu. It's got the traditional start menu from Windows 7 and previous versions, and also combined with the tiles that were introduced in Windows 8. I really like that balanced feel. Again, these are all drag and drop too, so that's very customizable of a menu. Moving on, this is the start screen, which can be used instead of the start menu, and you can see again further personalization here. These are all drag and drop as well, and it also lists just the commonly most critically used apps which are pre-installed and come free of charge out of the box for users. So now moving on to the File Explorer, you can pretty much download and move around any type of file you want on the Windows 10 beta. But you might have some trouble opening the file, especially if it's a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet. As you can see, we don't have Microsoft Office, so I'm working on a Google Doc back here because I don't have Microsoft Word. Again, just don't have Office, so I tried downloading a PowerPoint. Couldn't open it because I don't have Office. You could get PowerPoint Viewer, but you wouldn't be able to edit it. You'd have to get OpenOffice or some other free Office suite. So moving on back to the File Explorer, we've got our desktop search still, which is nice. That does accept keywords. But an example of another search, you can see our file name here is Windows 10 OS Comparison Screenshots, keyword being screenshots there. So I go to my general search at the start menu and type in screenshot, and this is what's on the desktop, web search results, but my file's not here. So I go back and I start with the beginning of the file name, Windows 10, and lo and behold, there it is. So to search a file name from the start menu, you have to start with the beginning of the file name. So that's a little bug they might want to work out. And then also, Windows Help and Support comes out of the box with Windows 10. That's really nice. It's also searchable. That's great. But users might not get far because it's only going to show them the basics of Windows 8.1 right now. So that's another bug that are going to want to work out for the release of Windows 10. Moving on to the App Store, I really like the organization. Good, inviting colors here. I really like how the banner stands out against the lighter background here. So then going into a specific app, I really like the install button. Your attention goes straight there and to the top banner, so you see all your options as a user. Very organized layout. Like it a lot. Moving on to monitoring system status. If you right-click the taskbar here, you bring up this nice convenient menu where you've got anything from Task Manager, Device Manager, Programs and Features. So that's all one menu, and then just clicking Task Manager, for example, brings up these nice charts. Really easy to access again from just this one menu. Overall, Windows 10 is going to score a 9.0 with me. I'll get into these subcategories later after I go over Ubuntu, but Windows 10 really stood out to me. I really liked it a lot. 9.0. Alright, now moving on to Ubuntu Gnome 14.10, the classic version of the desktop. Initial home screen reactions, it's very empty. I can already tell that it's going to take a lot of customization, a lot of work for me as the user to develop my own interface and try to customize it in whatever way I want. So that's a lot of work. There's no pre-established just kind of like template for me to work off of. But also, as with most OSs like Windows 2, you can change the background, personalization here. That's about the least of the customization you can do with Ubuntu. But moving on, in any case, aesthetically pretty pleasing, a little more rounded than Windows, rounded buttons, sort of rounded banners, rounded windows, so that's a little different, but also just very neatly organized too. This is like your start menu here with Ubuntu, so that's nice. We've also got our help like we did in Windows, and that is searchable, as I'll get into later. So if we go into Activities Overview, we bring up this, and this is like your dock for Ubuntu, which is kind of nice, pretty nicely organized. Again, pretty rounded, a little different than Windows. This is your overall search, so that would be like our start menu search in Windows. That does accept keywords, which is a huge bonus, unlike Windows General Search, which does not. So yeah, rounded windows, pretty aesthetically pleasing, warm colors. So this is our file explorer for Ubuntu. Again, you can pretty much download any type of file and move it around in here with Ubuntu. But a huge bonus with Ubuntu is that out of the box, you get LibreOffice, which is a free Office suite program compatible with PowerPoint, spreadsheets, documents. So that's a huge bonus. You do, however, have to install a Flash plugin with Ubuntu, unlike Windows 10, which comes with Adobe Flash Player. So that's kind of a drawback for the software out of the box, but Ubuntu LibreOffice is a huge bonus. And this is LibreOffice Math. You can just export these as PDFs, which is nice, pretty compatible with all file types. This is a bug I ran into. LibreOffice Math doesn't show up. The pictures just don't show up here for the help section. So it's nice that you have a help section and you can search it, but when there's no pictures, I can't really tell what I'm looking for or what's going to help me. So going back to this, unfortunately, searching, there is no desktop search in Ubuntu like there is in Windows 10, which is kind of a bummer. There is the general search, like I said earlier, but no desktop search. The general search does accept keywords, though, which is nice. So this does accept keywords. You don't have to start with the beginning of the file name like in Windows. So moving on, super customizable with Ubuntu. It's all open source software, so you as the user are a developer essentially too, and you can tweak the code and make it your own, customize it however you want, with the stipulation that you have to make it accessible to other users and other developers. So that's a cool feature. A little over my head, but cool. Their app store is pretty standardized. Nothing terribly special or drawing into me about this. It's pretty dark grayscale. This is an app. See, I would look to here for an install button, but it's actually located over here pretty inconveniently. Doesn't really stand out amongst this dark gray banner either. Not much gradients going on. My attention doesn't go to the install button. I don't really like the App Store organization. So this is a little help section, which is nice. It's searchable, so that's good. That's a plus. So monitoring system status now. It's kind of hard to get into. You have to go to applications and then places, find your disk usage and analyzer. That's one example. Also, you have your power statistics, but again, that's in a totally different place too. So there's not one menu that takes you to all of these like in Windows 10, so it's a little harder. So that's a 7. That ranked a little lower. So overall, Ubuntu Gnome 8.375, a lot closer overall review than I thought it would be. I thought Windows would blow Ubuntu out of the water. Alright, so I know I kind of sped through that review. I'm going to go back now and talk a little bit about the numbers. The reason I chose Windows 10 for aesthetics, I really like the crisp feel to it. It was a little more organized than Ubuntu's. That was really nice. I also like the vibrant and engaging colors they used. The nice blue with the gradients in the background was really drawing in. I liked that. Compatibility and software, Ubuntu Gnome took that just because they have better out-of-the-box software. It comes free with the download of Ubuntu, so that's just nice to be able to open and access PowerPoints, documents like that. Customization, Windows 10 did have good customization with the start screen, the start menu, but you can't really beat open source software, the potential level of customization for open source software. So Ubuntu Gnome takes the cake for that as well. Bugs, not significant bugs with either one, nothing that really inhibited my experience, so they both got a 7 on that. Some issues that can still be worked out with both. Searching, Windows 10 was just a little bit more accessible, which I liked. Both the general search and the desktop search is more accessible. Navigating the App Store, much more organized App Store on Windows 10. It was just cleaner, a lot easier to tell where my actions were. Monitoring system status, again, just much more accessible with Windows 10. I showed you that one menu had about 8 options, so that was way better than Ubuntu Gnomes, where I had to navigate through a bunch of different menus just to find different options to check my status. So thanks for joining me all, and that's it.